This will mow things that your tractor with a brush hog might not be able to. Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farm, and I'm out here today at the Equip Expo in Louisville, Kentucky. And I just had a meeting with Bobcat to learn about the new products they're introducing in 2025 and 2026. So we've got 3 awesome machines to show you that are adding to their existing lineup of awesome equipment. So let's jump into it. All right, the first machine we're gonna look at is this new model of mini skid steer. I've grabbed Nick here and he's gonna be our source of information. So this is a Bobcat MT100. I've had the opportunity to run this machine before, and actually I was pretty shocked because as I go around and compare machines, I think Bobcat's a premium name. They're gonna be at that premium price range, but I was really surprised at the price tag on this machine right here. I've ran this one, I've talked about this one before, but can you tell us what's different or new about the 120?
Yeah, so MT120 came out with it in about April this year. So again, brand new to our lineup. This is our newest mini track loader and our biggest mini track loader that we have in the Bobcat lineup. So MT120, 1,200 pounds of ROC or rated operating capacity. So you've got 200 more pounds of additional ROC than the 100. You're going to have pilot drive controls, which is going to be great for hand fatigue, right? Long days of operating. You're not going to feel as fatigued like you may on the 100 or anything with a mechanical linkage.
This is a 1,200 pound rated operating capacity. Now on a track machine, that's going to be about a third of what it could technically lift. That's what it's recommended that you safely travel with.
Correct. We rate everything for 35% of tip capacity, right? So it's going to be 1,000 pounds is 35% of what you theoretically could lift before you're tipping.
So in practical terms for me, the mini skid steer I have at home is only rated for like 900 pounds operating capacity, but my firewood totes are 1,500 pounds and I can move them around. I just know not to lift them more than a couple inches off the ground or I could tip over. So with this machine, it's got more lift capacity in the same footprint compared to the machine I've got.
Bringing up the footprint too, big one. So with the MT120, it's got 9 and 11-inch tracks, so 9-inch standard, 11-inch wide tracks. The big key difference there from the 100 is that that narrow track, which is 9 inches, which is your wide track on the 100, is still in that 36-inch frame, right? So you're going to be able to go through any gates, but still with that wider track with additional stability.
Yeah, that track's kind of tucked up under as far as it can go.
Right.
Which makes a big difference because with the mini skid steer, I've seen some of them, they're just enormous and they can carry a lot of weight. But if you want a big machine, you can just get a big machine. The whole point of these is that they have a small footprint and they can operate in tight spaces.
Absolutely.
So for some guys, for me, 36 inches, 38 inches, not a big deal. But if you're going through a customer's gate, those 2 inches are everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Yep.
So the engine that's in this machine.
Yeah. The engine is going to be a 24.5 horse Dadong engine versus a 24.8 horse Kubota engine. Reason we kind of moved to Dadong is just it's a really strong partnership with the Bobcat brand. We have it in our CTs, we have it in our L35, which we may touch on later on. So we're just continuing to grow that relationship, and MT120 is that.
All right, so it's wide open access to the engine without removing any bolt-on panels or anything.
Industry best serviceability. It's got, what you can see, our cooling in this is a little higher versus the 100. So you're gonna get great cooling. Every service tech I talk to, raves about how easy it is to access everything.
One thing I notice is there's almost no gap in here between your tracks and your boom. I've seen some of them, like every inch that you move this out, you're losing leverage. And the limitation on what these machines can pick up and carry really isn't about the hydraulics. They've usually got hydraulics to lift twice what you can actually lift.
Yep.
It is keeping your weight tucked up close, and then it's how much counterweight you have back here.
Absolutely.
So does this have an add-on weight kit?
It does not have an add-on weight kit like our 100. We kind of build it in, which is kind of where you're getting that additional 200 pounds of ROC. So again, we just did that from a safety perspective, but we feel like, again, it's got plenty of lift for any application.
Being honest, I don't see any reason on a machine like this. I get it on wheel weights for a tractor, but on a skid steer, I don't see any reason where I'd be like, I'm gonna save a few $100s by not getting the weight kit. It's so important for the machine to have it. So let's talk about the control station and how that all operates.
Yeah,
My first thing when I get on a machine is standing in a normal orientation or sitting, can I see the lead edge of my bucket?
Yep.
Now this is a flat grapple, so I can't really see the front of it, but you definitely could see a regular bucket from here. That may seem like a small thing, but it's a big deal. If you can't see your lead edge, that's a problem.
Absolutely. And kind of like I mentioned, where we have that fan sitting a little higher, your line of sight is definitely steeper on the 120 versus the 100. What we did to kind of help alleviate that is we have a new bucket called a GPX bucket. It's not on this machine currently, but we do recommend that when you purchase any MT120, you buy that bucket. It's got 5 inches of additional cutting edge, so you can see that cutting edge even if you're a shorter operator.
A lot of times I think about a mini skid steer as a material handling unit, but you can run anything on these. I've got an auger that I run on mine, and it's a great experience running that type of attachment on here. So the controls, this is the control system that I like with with these types of joysticks. Obviously this is travel, this is boom, right?
Right, correct.
And then this is a big deal to me on any machine. Not a fan at all of that central joystick here where you have to take your hand off of the main joystick to control your auxiliary. So this, I'll let you tell me, because I also see a hydraulic button here.
Yeah.
How it works in terms of a momentary attachment, like if I'm using this grapple, versus a continuous attachment like an auger or a trencher.
Yeah, so you nailed it on the head, right? So that's going to be your third function auxiliary right there on that right-hand joystick. So like with this grapple, you're going to be able to open and close your grapple without having to leave your hand off of that joystick. Versus the 100, where we do have a lever in the middle of the machine, right? So again, like you said, just more efficient. It's a better setup. On the back, you have that trigger, and on the bottom of your operator stand, you have a continuous flow pedal. So if you step on that, hit that trigger, if you're running an auger, for example, you can just continue to get that continuous flow.
If the machine throws you off, your attachment stops, which matters.
Right.
And in general, I assume the entire platform is a switch that doesn't kill the machine but stops travel? Or will this machine move when you're not standing on it?
If the joystick is in a forward position, the machine will move when you're not on the platform.
If I start this and step off, can I move the machine like this?
Okay. Yep, you could. We don't recommend it, but yeah, yep.
I prefer that. Some machines allow that and some don't.
Sure.
So then you've got a panel back here to access. There's a air filter, fuel filter, and your battery with just a single. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yep. Very, very easy to service, very easy to get in there and see what you're looking at. A couple other things on the top here while we're up here. That's going to be some storage, additional storage outside of the cup holders. So you got any keys or anything that you want to make sure that they're locked in place.
And then there are your hydraulic reservoirs in there. What about, is the fuel gauge on the display here?
It is, yep. So that's our 4.3-inch display, which again is brand new to our MT lineup. It is passcode protected too, which is big, right? So on any job site, you can feel comfortable that your machine's not going to get stolen, which could happen with some other competitors or even an MT100, right? So definitely wanted to make sure we added that feature.
And so all of your information is going to be up here. Like my machine's got a sight glass for the fuel.
Yep.
And even though you can see it, diesel fuel is it's hard to tell sometimes if I'm full or low. So I really like having that display right there.
Yeah, all your functionality is right in front of your face. So we want to make sure too that you're not having to look in different places while you're operating, just from a safety perspective. So it's all really convenient.
So this machine weighs 3,700 pounds.
Correct.
12 gallons of hydraulic flow. It says industry highest lift height reaches 88 inches. So almost 7.5 feet.
Correct, yep. That is, for this size machine, your 25 and under horsepower engine, it is an industry best 88.2 inches of lift height. And it does have a vertical lift path versus a radial lift path, which for those that may not know means that your lift arm is going to just go in a straight vertical path versus radial being more of a circular, I guess, path, if you will.
Precise responsive pilot controls. Tomorrow I'll be outside running machines from different brands and I'll get a feel for those pilot controls. Travel speed of 4.7 miles per hour. I think that's a really good number.
Yeah, we found that 4.7, we could have maybe gone a little faster with it, but we find that when you're standing on the back of a machine especially, it's important to feel safe and comfortable while you're operating it, and we found that was the sweet spot.
There's definitely a reasonable limit of how fast you want to go on a machine like this. All right, so now we've got a completely different type of machine. And this type of machine I've really never ran before. So I'm trying to learn what the applications are, what you can do with it, and who the best customer is for this product.
So this is our L35 SAL small articulating loader. So being that this is a tired machine versus a track like the MT120 or 100, you're going to have minimal ground disturbance. Great for customers maybe that are working on established turf, right? Any tree customers are going to be great, to use something like this. Great for snow removal. So those folks that are up north that want something that's a 12, month machine, this is going to be great for that. So starting at the back here, so your engine is going to be a 57 horsepower Daedong engine. So same brand as our MT120, right? That is going to be a turbo engine, so not naturally aspirated, which again is a big bonus for this. To the tires, what you're looking at, these are our largest 31 by 15 inch tires, turf tires, which we do recommend on this machine. It goes 20 miles per hour for travel speed, which is an industry best. I mean, you're moving in this machine, right? So really efficient.
So obviously you've got an extendable boom,
Correct.
so you can pick stuff up and carry it.
Yep.
But the application to me, when I walk up, is that you're gonna have a variety of like landscaping attachments that you're gonna run on it. Is this a standard skid steer quick attach?
Yeah, so this is our standard size Bobcat attachment interface, right? So versus our MT100 120, where it's our mini, these can run any of our skid loader attachments, right? So it's got 18 gallons a minute of flow for standard. It's got 25.3 gallons a minute of flow for high flow optional, right? So it's got, again, plenty of flow to run any of your larger attachments.
What kind of reach does this have when you extend the boom out?
The way I put it is it's just under 10 feet with your biggest tires. So you're at about 118 inches of lift height when you're fully extended. I always like to bring up too when we're talking about ROC, right? So it's just under 2,100 pounds of lift capacity without counterweights. You're looking at about 2,600 pounds of ROC with counterweights. Big caveat with this machine, since it articulates and you can extend your boom, you're going to lose lift capacity, in different situations, right? So some people think that it may lift 2,100 pounds in every application, but that isn't the case, right? So I always tell people to look into that.
What is automatic ride control?
Yeah.
Hydraulically cushioning the bounce?
Yeah, so automatic ride control, what it's going to do is it's going to dampen your lift arm. The way I always like to describe it is think about holding a cup of coffee in your car, right? So as you're driving along the road, if it's in your cup holder, you're probably going to have a little bit of spillage as you go over bumps. But if you hold it, you can kind of go with the bumps and you're not going to have as much spillage. So take that into consideration with a bucket, for example. You're not going to be dumping your aggregate.
Yeah, and I've ran machines that had that before, and it really makes a difference.
Absolutely.
So is it all right if I jump up in this?
Go right ahead, yeah.
So immediately whenever I get in this, I think, you've got a steering wheel. It's going to drive like a car, but you've got crazy visibility everywhere. I can see the front tires and I can see the back tires.
Yep. Absolutely, yeah. The cab, it's big to have visibility in this, just again, being that you're articulating, it's got a really tight turn radius. And being that you're going to be in tight quarters, we wanted to make sure, that, you can see whatever you're operating with.
Yep, so you've got your boom control here. You run this with the other hand with the spinner on it, and you've got your auxiliary hydraulics here. You've got that same touchscreen interface.
Yep, so we got that 4.3-inch display with passcode protect. Big difference here inside the cab that you're not going to get in our other 23, 28 models is it does have air conditioning. So big for those folks that are down south. That was definitely something that we wanted to make sure we added in with this new model.
And then this one can prop open so you can talk to people outside, or if it's just that type of day where you don't need to run your AC.
Absolutely. It's got the sliding side window too over there, which again is great, especially if you're on a job site and you're trying to talk quick to anybody on the ground there. And then on the behind you, you've got a heated rear window, which again, great for snow removal, which again is another additional option.
Do you know what a machine like this weighs?
I believe this is about 6,000 pounds without the cab, and you're looking at about 6,600 pounds with the cab.
All right, so in my setup, I could hold this machine and that one without exceeding any of my tow rating on a 3/4 ton.
Absolutely.
What about price ranges? We haven't really touched on that at all. Roughly, what kind of price are we looking at for that machine and then for this machine?
Yeah. So maybe as you see this machine right here, you're probably looking at maybe mid to high 70s, give or take. For the MT120, you're probably going to look at maybe mid to low 40s, and the MT100 about mid to high 30s.
That's actually a really good price on a mini skid. Mini skid steers are expensive, and you can pay a lot more than that. So I expected Bobcat to be at the top of the price range, and they just aren't.
That's it. We pride ourselves on having something that's affordable. It's an entry-level machine, right? We want to make sure that the entry-level folks can purchase it, right, and be able to use it.
So now I've got Ron here, and he's going to tell me about 2 new mower models that Bobcat has come out with this year. I've got to run a Bobcat mower before. I was really impressed with that one, but I'm interested to see what's new.
Well, thanks, Brock. On our commercial lineup, what you see here is our ZT 7000, and all our commercial products from the 6000 on up to the 7 have new bumpers on them. Of course, there's some new styling, some new logos, a new look, brand new, some exit entry type of thing that improves the serviceability on the back end when you have to work on your mowers. You know, we have our swing away bumpers today that comes right out, so that's been improved a little bit, and it comes all the way out so you can get the engine out if you need to, or engine cleaning, do your oil changes a little bit easier. It's all about doing it yourself and product improvability, serviceability. We have new seats that are on the machine and all our commercial products. Matter of fact, from our ZT 3000 residential unit on up, have padded armrests now, new styling and new look. We cleaned up our anti-slips on our foot plates, cleaned up the look of the deck, not just in styling, but also with an improved anti-slip materials on the deck itself. On our ZT 6100, which is right in a sweet spot of our commercial products, we have a brand new FX 781 Evo engine that has increased horsepower and plus increased fuel efficiency over a standard EFI product.
So when I had one of these mowers at my house before, a couple things that stood out was that high-speed travel pedal, and it seems like you could change the oil on this without getting under the machine.
Oh yeah, you can just, it's toolless, you can swing out one side or the other, full access to clean, to get the engine oil out. And by the way, speaking of changing the oil, it's also a toolless engine oil drain that we have that you just hang over the edge or go through the floor plate with a hole. Super easy to do, quick and easy, nice do-it-yourself feature.
I'm also a big fan of the Tweels. I've had a mower with those before, and to me, it's a no-brainer. I loved having those.
Yeah, no matter what product you have, this particular unit has Tweels on it, and we have no flat front casters as standard on these units. However, we have no flat caster options for all of our products. So if it doesn't come standard with it, you can get it aftermarket.
The no flat, so does that mean this is a solid rubber, or
no,
it's an inflated, but
it's a semi-pneumatic, so it's not inflated, but it's got a hollow center in it, so it still gives you a little bit of give when you're from an operator comfort standpoint. The nice thing though about our design on the no flats is that it's a rounded profile. Typically, if you buy an aftermarket no flat tire, it's got a square profile that'll tear the turf more. This is a nice rounded profile, less turf tear and more controllability. And you mentioned, Brock, about the 2-speed pedal. You push that down 19 miles per hour for a transport speed. Super efficient if you're on one end of the cul-de-sac to get back to your truck and trailer.
So what engine do we have on this right here? Kawasaki 38.5?
That's correct.
EFI?
Yep. EFI. So they tout 25% fuel savings over a standard carb unit. And on our 6100, we also have an EFI option as well.
Now this is the type of mower that all of us guys with a big property want, but this is a high-end commercial mower. Can we look at something that's maybe a little bit more affordable for the homeowner?
Sure. So from that standpoint, we've got this unit here, which is our ZT 6000. This unit would be what I would just call all the bare bones of the product for a commercial cutter or homeowner with acreage. It's got the Airfx deep deck cutting system. It's got the full commercial frame, the durability you expect from the Bobcat brand, 15 gallons of fuel capacity, high back, full suspension seat, and the horsepower that you need to keep things going. It just doesn't have all the bells and whistles on it, but it's got everything you need.
Okay, so what about our deck height here? You're gonna push this down and then you're moving this?
Yep, so you would take that pin and move that, but you've got your handle and your foot, so you can have a lot of nice and easy to change the deck height. You've got your arm force, you got your leg strength down there, whatever works out from a height cut adjustment standpoint.
Yeah, pretty comfortable, easy to see, and if you're just going over one thing, you can just lift it and drop it back down.
And the foot pedal too is toolless if you haven't seen that. So different operators, you're a bit taller than me. If we were mowing all day and you have operators that change out, it's a toolless adjustment. So for people with shorter or longer legs.
So as I haven't even asked this ahead of time, but just standing here looking at this mower and my experience with mowers, I'm guessing that's like a $15,000 to $20,000 mower.
Yeah, this one's right around 17, depending on if you get the carb engine or the EFI. The EFI is going to bring a little bit more money. But if you know your business, you know what you're spending in fuel, you'll save about 25% of that. So it's worth that money up front.
Some of you guys might freak out hearing that price tag, but that's just what a high-end commercial mower costs. So what about this model? What kind of range are we in with a mower like this?
This one's around $11,500 to $12,000 is what your kind of standard price goes for.
All right, so one more mower model here. This is the ZT3500.
Yeah, so this year from our ZT 2000, 3000, 35, and then the 5000, of course you go up in spec as you go up in model numbers. We've got new high back seats, padded armrests for user experience comfort. We've got a platform that has an anti-vibration material now when you step on it for homeowners with acreage or even the consumer guys. So it takes out that vibration on your feet. We've cleaned it up with new styling, but our biggest improvement on these products themselves is no more parking brake. It's integrated into the control levers, so you take the control levers out of neutral and your parking brake is disengaged now.
Awesome. And do you know approximate price range on a mower like this?
Something like this on the 3500 is going to be around that $9,000 price point.
So when I think of Bobcat, my mind automatically goes to the full-size skid steer. I mean, they were one of the first and the most innovative skid steer manufacturers. That's why a lot of people call all skid steers Bobcats, like it's a generic name for the type of equipment. But honestly, they've got high-end equipment in every product category, even some things that you might not have thought of, like the machines we're looking at today, but also a lot more. So if you're a landscape or turf professional, they've got all of these types of precision landscaping equipment. They've got these articulating lawn tractors, and these are really cool machines. I mean, if you need the ability to mow across a slope, you can run this for that, but also you can put a wide variety of attachments on one of these. Really cool machine. I'd love to get the opportunity to run one of these if they have them outside. Like, this will mow things that your tractor with a brush hog might not be able to. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up today from the Bobcat booth. I'm gonna try to get outside and run some of these equipment in the video that I put out in the next couple days. So I love this show. I appreciate you guys taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.